What is up, fellow developers? My name's Tyler Potts, and in this video we're going to be creating this animated login form. So the animated parts are the focus effects. So when you focus on something, it will do this little animation where it draws a border around it. You then type, and if you go out, you can then leave your text in there. And if you click out with no content in there, it'll obviously go away. Same with the password, same deal here. And if you hover over login, it also does the same animation. I've also threw in a little bonus, so forgotten password, I've done it here. This part where how this all comes down and closes is all done in just CSS. There's no JavaScript involved. It's using the target pseudo selector. So as you can see up here, it's using forgot password. And again, the same animations on the forgot password form. Although that forgot password bit is saying login instead of find password or whatever, or forgot password. So without further ado, let's crack on with the video. So I'm going to put this somewhere else. No, I'll leave it there, it'll be fine. So let's open up the terminal, and let's move over to the left here. I'm going to clear this, and I'm going to say cd projects 100 days of code, and then I'm going to say make the day 89. I don't know what day it is. And ls day 89. So we're going to say make the day 89, and we're going to call this login page. We're going to cd into day 98, I wish, 89, and ls. Cool. Now I'm going to open this up in code by using code dot, which can open it up in VS Code. I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to make it about this, and I'm going to slam this to the right. So also this works on mobile responsive, very simply by just shrinking down. Same with that. So that's looking all right. Let's stretch this out. And we don't actually need this to be that tall. We'll just have it like that. There we go. Very nice. Very, very smooth. Okay, now in here we're gonna basically create a new index.html page, and I'm going to emit with the basic boilerplate there, and I'm just going to call this login page for my salon, Tyler's salon. Everyone thinks I work at a salon, apparently. Tyler Salons, no, just salon, just one. Link, and I'm going to say here main.css. We're going to use Sass, so we're going to compile it down using the Sass compiler, and we'll go script source main.js. Now don't be alarmed, that is only a minor amount of JavaScript. No precompilers, no jQuery, no nothing, just a very basic, I would say like 5 lines, maybe 5 or 6 lines of JavaScript. You could probably compress it even more if you tried. And that's it for that. So let's create some markers. So I'm going to create a div with form wrapper, which could use this to center our stuff. We're then going to have a form with the class of form, no action because we're not actually going to submit the form. And inside here, we're going to say autocomplete equal off, because autocomplete is very annoying. It basically brings up like suggestions and stuff like that. And it's only useful when you want it to be useful. I'm going to have form group, and inside these form groups we're going to have a input and a label. The input is going to basically be a type of text for the username, and this one's going to say name is equal to username, ID is equal to username. Actually, I'm just going to put user or name, either way, name, sure, just to make it easier for me. And I'm going to say, I'm also going to say, so ID, we need a class of form element and a placeholder of a space. Now, I'll explain why we need a placeholder of a space in a moment. Actually, and this is also very annoying. Let's just quickly break down the side. Okay, and for the label, we're just going to have a basic label with the its name for the for, and in here we're going to say username. Now I'm just going to explain that this username is actually, we don't actually need the placeholder. Sorry, I have a different way to do it. No explanation needed. So we're going to now do the password. So we're going to have another form group. Inside the form group, we're going to have an input of type text, and this will be pass, and class of form element. Again, same deal. And then we're going to have another label with pass, obviously. It's going to say password. And further down the line, we're going to have a button, which is type submit. And in here, we're going to say login. And we're going to have a class of submit button. We're then going to have an anchor tag with the class of forgot password. And this is going to just have a hashtag forgot_password. This part is important. You need to make sure you've added in your anchor link. And we're going to say forgotten password ? Now, outside of this form, but inside the form wrapper, we now want the diff with the class of forgot password. The reason being is because this is going to target this, so these two need to match. We then need an anchor tag in here with a hashtag, and this one's just going to say and times, which is like a cross. And we're going to say class close. The reason for this is because we'll be using this to close this. Now we need another form inside of here with the class of form again, and also autocomplete off, but it's fine, we'll do that in a second. Autocomplete off. Nice. Now we need a similar set from in here, so we're actually just going to get this top one and the H2, put that in here and get the button. Oh. We're going to need one input because this one is going to be for the email. And in here we're just going to say email. We also want to change this to email. And format. Nice. And this one can say submit, just because that's all it needs to say. And login will say forgot password or reset password. Reset password. Nice. Now, that is it for the markup. So let's recap. So we have a form wrapper and two forms, one inside of a forgot password form, and the other one inside of and the other one inside the form wrapper. Sorry, confused myself. We have two H2s, obviously, to define the H2, and then we have inputs. The inputs consist of a form group, a input field, and a label. And that's it. So let's now in here, let's create a new file called main.sas. You can use pure CSS. It will work the exact same as long as you know how to convert it. It's very simple. It's basically just not nested. And in here, we're going to create some variables. I actually have the variables over here. And most of these are actually irrelevant. I was testing some different colors. Why are you erroring? Oh, no dollar. Need a dollar sign. So we have some colors and we have this spacing. The spacing is important because it helps with just a few things. So we can keep it consistent. We're going to set up a blank space. We're going to say margin 0, padding 0, and box sizing border box. Now let's actually compress this. So I'm going to do Control-Alt-T to open up my integrated terminal. And first things first, I'm going to say Sass main.sass with main.css. We're going to do --watch and then --no-source-map. Enter, and that's going to compile our Sass. We're going to create a new terminal. We're going to say live-server. This is going to run our server over here. There we go. So now it's looking pretty good. I think it looks great. I think we're pretty much done. Let's style it up a little. So we're going to say font family of sans serif. There we go. And a background color of dark because we don't want it to be light. I'm going to give this the form wrapper, and this is going to have a width of 100 VW and the height of 100 VH. We're then going to say display flex, justify content center, and then align item center. Hit save, and that's going to bring these to the middle. I'm then going to target the forgot password thing and say display none for now, because we're going to work on this later. There we go. Nice. And we'll put that a few down just so I don't have to deal with it. So let's style up the form. Now the form, we're going to give a width of 100%, but we're also going to give a max width of 480 pixels. We don't want it being too wide. The form elements don't really need to be that wide. We're going to give this a padding of spacing. So the variable we set, which is 16 times 2, because you want to give it some good spacing. Some good padding around the edges. We're then going to give it a background color of light, which actually and then let's say box shadow 0, 0, 10 pixels, RGBA of 0, 0, 0, 0.22. There we go. We can't really see that on the dark, to be honest. It looks better on the light, but we have a light version too in a second. So we're going to say now H2, and we're going to say color dark, font size 28 pixels, font weight 700 pixels, margin bottom, it's going to have spacing times 2 again, give it that 32 pixel spacing. And now we're going to go to the form groups. So the form groups is where it starts getting interesting. We need a position of relative and a vertical align of middle. Now these two are important for the border animation, just to center everything and make everything work right. We then need a display of block, a margin, top of spacing, and a transition of 0.4 seconds. Now that's how that looks currently. Obviously no animation, nothing like that. Now I'm going to do the label. So we're going to say label, position, absolute, top 50%, left equal to spacing, transform, translate y minus 50%, center it, and then transition 0.4 seconds. We'll give it a Z index of 5, so it's not behind anything, and we'll give it a color of dark and a font size of font size of 18 pixels. There we go. Now it's sitting inside the input field. So let's start the input field. We're going to say form element. And with the form element, we'll give a position of relative, a C index of 1, and then we're going to say display block, width 100%, background color, we'll give this a white, and then I'm going to say appearance none, and then we're going to say WebKit appearance none. Normally SAS would compile this for me, but for some reason it hasn't been. Border none, outline none. Let's also remove that, and then we're going to say margin bottom of spacing again, and padding of spacing. Hit save, and there you go. That's starting to look okay. Obviously one issue is you can't really see what you're typing, so we'll fix that in a second. What's going to say in here color dark, so we want the text to be that light, well that dark grey. Going to say font size of 18 pixels, and that is going to have accompanied by a font weight of 300. Again, my font probably doesn't, because it's just a serif font, it probably doesn't have it, but that should look a bit better now. Good. Now we want to set up a isActive class, but first I'm going to style the login button first, I think. So outside of the, is that the form? No, inside the form, but outside of the form group, we want to say submit hyphen button, and we're going to say position relative display block width 100%, max width of 200 pixels, and then we're going to have margin left auto because I want to push it over to the right. Let's hit save. Nice, it's looking good. We're then going to have a border of none, an outline of none, appearance none, and then WebKit appearance none. Don't forget your prefixes, they're really important. We're going to have a border radius of 8 pixels. And then, or actually no, border radius 0 pixels. We want to reset the pixels. And then a padding, yeah, that's it, padding, spacing, and then a margin bottom of spacing, a color of dark. Sorry, there's a lot of CSS in this, and text transform of uppercase. A lot of it is unnecessary. Transition of 0.4 seconds, and we don't need a cursor. I was going to put a cursor on that, but it already has one. There we go. So now that is there. Wait, that font size is wrong. It should be font size 18. There we go. It's looking good, and that actually doesn't have a cursor, so just because it's going to annoy me, cursor pointer. There we go. Much better. Now we can set up the hover effect. So when we hover over this, it does the animation around it on the button first. It's the easiest one. It doesn't require JavaScript. So to do this, we're going to be using the before and after pseudo elements. So we're going to say and before and after, and we're going to say we're going to say content is equal to nothing, position is equal to absolute, C index is going to be equal to 2, and the border is going to be equal to 2 pixels, solid, transparent. The reason we need it transparent is because we need a border so it doesn't push the box around when we start hovering, so it doesn't push it like down, then left, then right, then up, sort of thing. So if it's always there but it's transparent, then it won't like grow and break the layout. We're then going to set a width of 0 and a height of 0. Now the reason for that is because we're going to have the before sitting in the top left and the after sitting in the bottom right. So we're going to say width 100% so it grows to the right. Then we're going to say height 100% or 100%, which is going to make it grow on the vertical, which is going to give it the effect like it's growing. And then we're going to do the same with this after, where it's going to go from the bottom to the left. So let's set up the before first, and in before we're going to say top 0, left 0, as I said. Then we're going to have a transition of border color, and we're going to say that's 0 seconds, ease out, and then we're going to say 1 second delay. And this is for the opposite way. So whatever I write here, it's to do it backwards. We're going to say width 0.25 seconds, ease out, and then we're going to set the delay to 0.75 seconds. We're then going to have a height, which is going to be set to 0.25 seconds. I'm going to close the side there, 25 seconds. It's going to say ease out, and then we're going to say 0.5 seconds for the delay. And that is the transition property done on the before. Now, so after the before, we need to do the after, of course, and the after is pretty similar. So let's copy, paste down, push down. But instead of top, we're going to say bottom. Instead of left, we're going to say right. And in the border color, we're actually going to set that to 0.5. We're then going to set the width equal to, well, no, the width works out pretty much fine. We just need to set that at 2.5. And then the height needs to be 2.5, ease out without an ending there. Now we need to set the hover state. So this is where we do the animation. So we're going to set a box shadow to this of 0 pixels, 6 pixels, 6 pixels, RGBA, 0, oh no, RGBA, that one. Nice. So when we hover this, you'll see we get this nice little border pop out effect. Now let's do the before and after. So we're going to say before, and then we're going to say and after. And we're going to give these a width of 100% and a height of 100%. The timings will obviously come from these transition properties here. Now we need to set up the border colors. So we're going to say border top color. Oh, sorry, this is in the wrong one. I need to be in just before because we only want to set the colors for this one. So we're going to say border top color, and we're going to say it equal to primary. We're then going to say border right color, and oh, that's not a color, and we want to set it also equal to primary. We then want to say so we want to do the similar transition to the I think it's the before we actually want. No, it's definitely this one. Oh, give me it now. So we want to do a similar transition to this, but we don't want the border color in there. It's not needed for this way around. So we're going to say 0.5. We don't need a delay. Then we're going to say height, but we're going to need a 0.25 pixels delay or seconds delay on that. So now look, if we hover over it, you'll see we get the first half of the animation. So what's happening here is the width is growing to the right, and then the height after the width is finished animating is growing downwards. So it's giving that border on the left and the right. Also on this we need to say pointer events none, because we want to be able to click through it so we can actually click the button. As you can see, it's submitted there. So that's one half. Now we've got to set up the after. So just below the before, we're going to say, well, actually, we can just duplicate the before and change a few properties. So instead of, we're going to say bottom here. Then we're going to say left. And then we actually need to say border color is equal to 0 seconds with an ease out of 0.5 seconds. Now, the reason for that is so the color doesn't automatically come in as soon as we hover over this. So that's why that's there. Also, this needs to be after. So you can see what happens there. That just jumps straight in before it's given a chance. So now we want to say width is 0.25 seconds after 0.5 seconds. Height is going to be 0.25 seconds after 0.75 seconds. Now, if we hover, it's kind of off, which is incorrect. We don't want that. So to fix that, we need to come back up here. And where have I gone wrong here? So I've done top left for the before and bottom right for the so this needs to say after. Hit save. Now if we hover, there we go. It's pretty much there. Why is it's like an extra pixel of padding on the right of this? Let's make this bigger so we can use the inspector quickly. I feel like there's some padding at play here. Now, why are you both off by 1 pixel? Is that? It's very hard to see. Let's add a hover state to this. Let's make this taller. Debugging with Tyler. Let's close that and let's add a hover state to this. There we go. So 16 padding, good. None of that, and then in here. Oh, I mean, it's kind of annoying, kind of not. It's like a cool little effect, to be honest, but I mean, it's not what I intended to do. So let's figure out how to fix that. Let's move to the right and let's have a look at our code. So we have, so I think what we're missing is the box. There you go. Yeah, so we need box sizing in Herix. We need it to match the box sizing of whatever this is. If it's inside or no border box, it needs to be border box. If not, then it's not. And now it works nice. So that is the first animation of this. Now we need to apply it to this and also move the label up. So first thing we're going to do is animate the label. So we need some, we're going to need some JavaScript for this, because we're going to apply a class to the form group. So up here, we're going to go to the bottom here, and we're going to say and is -active. Now in is active, we're going to go to the form element, and we're going to give this a box shadow of 0 pixels, 0 pixels, 10 pixels, RGBA. And that's that. Now we need to style up the label. So we want to give this a top of minus spacing. So we want to bring it up all the way minus the spacing, so it brings it right up. We're then going to give it a left of 0 pixels, and then we're going to give it a color of dark, and then a font size of 12 pixels, because we don't need it big once we've clicked it, because we know what it is, we know where we're clicking into. It's just there for reference afterwards. And that is that done. So now let's set up the JavaScript. So we already set up the HTML, so we can just add it straight in there. And what we need to say here is const inputs is equal to document dot query selector all, because we want to get them all. We want to say dot form group, and we want to say dot form element, and that's going to get us our inputs. We're now going to say for let input of inputs, and then we're going to say input dot add event listener of focus. So when we focus on it, we're going to say function, and we're going to say let form group equal input dot parent node, because that's going to get us the form group. And then we're going to say form group dot class list dot add, and we're going to say is active. Now let's hit save and click on this. There you go. As you can see, it animates away, but now when we click away, it doesn't come back in, and also this is sitting in the box up here. So two things we need to do. First thing, in the CSS, in the is active, we want to say on this is active, we want to say margin top of spacing. Now, spacing, it's already got spacing. We need to say spacing times 2. So there you go. So now it gives it a bit more push. Now in the JavaScript, we want to give it the exact same thing, but we want to say instead of focus blur. So when we are not focusing, we want to say input dot remove is active. Now if we hover, you'll see, and we click away, it goes back in. Same down here. But if we type something and we click away, you'll see it comes back over. So we need to add a statement in here to say if input dot value is equal to nothing, then remove it, else don't. So if we click here and we click away and we add something in and we click away, you'll see it stays, else it goes. Now back in the CSS, we need to now animate the username, or not the username, the border around the input, because it's slightly different. We had to obviously do something slightly different, but it's the exact same before and after code. So we're going to copy the before, bring it up into the form group. So just underneath the transition, we're going to add this in. And then inside the isActive, we're going to go and copy the stuff inside the hover. Copy that and bring this inside the isActive just under the margin. Hit save, and now when we focus it, it does the animation. When we click away, the animation disappears. So that is kind of a cool little effect. So that is the animation portion done. Now, if we're going to set up the forgot password stuff, so let's do that now. So let's close the sidebar too. We're now going to go to the bottom of this, where we've got this forgot password is equal to none. What is that yellow? Is that the form group? Or form wrapper? Yes, correct. Let's bring this back up a few. And the form password, it's going to be position, absolute, top, 0, left, 0, right, 0, and height, also 0. We're then going to say overflow hidden, because we don't want it to be seen, and set index 99 so it comes on top. We're going to give this a background color of light, and now we're going to hit save. Now, if we click forgotten password, it's not going to show. But to fix that, we just need to say and target. So the pseudo element of target, we're just going to say not position clear, height 100%. Hit save, and when we click it, you'll see it goes straight to 100%. That's not very animated, is it? So let's animate that. So we want to actually give this an opacity of 0 because we want to animate the opacity. We're going to see if a transition of 0.6 seconds, if that's about right. And we're also going to display flex, just a flex direction column, justify content center, and align item center. Now, we added a transition property, so that's what we needed, the transition. Now, if we hit forgotten password, refresh, hit forgotten password, it's not displaying, and that's because we forgot to add opacity 1 inside here. So there you go. Now when we click on the X button, it goes away. If we click this, it opens up. Let's style this up a little. So we actually want to give that close and a style dot close. We're going to say position again, absolute, left or right, 25 pixels, and top of 25 pixels. We're going to say font size of 48 pixels because we want it to look quite big, and a font weight of 900 because we want it to look very dark. Text decoration none because we don't want the underline because it is an anchor tag, and the color we want it equal to dark. Hit save, and that sits in the top right corner. And now under here we want to also style the form because we don't want it to be in light mode, we want it to be in dark mode, so we're going to give it dark and then H2 and color of light, if I can type. And there you go. So that is that, and the animation still works. You can close this and it animates away. Click on this, and that, and you can always style this button up to down here to be something else. So when you hover, it has like a background color animation or something. Actually, I have a cool little one to do, so we'll quickly do that. So we'll go in here, we'll say forgot password. I think that was the, wait, is it what we gave it? Forgot password, and then we're going to say color dark, the text decoration to none, and then and hover, we're going to say box, oh no, not box show, we're going to say background color equal to RGBA. Yeah, let's try the 0.0.2. So when we hover, let's give it a bit of padding too. 4 pixels padding. That looks pretty good. Let's give it a transition. 0.4. So when you click it, you get this. So I think that's pretty good. We could also give this a border bottom here, so we could say border bottom of 3 pixels solid primary. Hit save, and now when you hover, you get that nice little hover effect of that. You click it, you can reset your password there. Now, that is everything for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. It was something slightly different, a bit more basic, but with a lot of fun little animations in there. So if you did enjoy it, then leave a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button and be the first person on scene. Don't forget that notification bell so you know as soon as our videos go live. So thanks for watching, guys, and peace out.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets.